All right, so we've obviously spent the semester researching and learning about the topic of change management as a team, and we've decided that to complement our learning, we're going to use this video as an opportunity to apply what we've learned to a hypothetical company, a hypothetical scenario that we've made up with a real-world engineering issue on their hands. So the three of us will be playing the roles of engineering senior managers at Great American Autos, a major American car manufacturer located in Detroit, who has historically built traditional cars. But we've been tasked with establishing an enterprise change management division within the company to manage us through the transition to designing, manufacturing, and distributing fully autonomous cars within the next 5 years. So let's give this a shot, guys. To start, let's talk about some goals that we would have for this program. What are we trying to accomplish, and how do we measure our success accomplishing it?
So I think our main goal is, staying ahead of our competitors, making sure that we don't fall behind with technology and become irrelevant.
Yeah, we also want to manage the risk that comes in with the new technology, make sure that we maintain a positive brand image and increase our market share.
Yeah, and I think that's particularly important in the 21st century. It's a lot easier to make this business case for change when we know how fast the industry is developing, and the tech industry, even outside of automobiles, is developing. So it's important to keep up and stay with competition as best you can. We even have parts of our company that have forecasted declining sales if we don't make this change. So one of the ways that we can measure our success is against these models that are forecasting a declining change in our traditional vehicles.
I think it's also important that we make sure that we're retaining our best talent and just throughout this whole transition. And I think we can measure that by looking at our employee satisfaction survey and also looking at just our statistics on retention.
Yeah, and we're ranked in Forbes' annual list of top 100 companies to work with. So it's another metric that we have from an outside source that we could use to make sure that we're holding ourselves to our own standard while we go through this change.
Right. We also have to look at the quality control aspects of it. Since we'll be implementing some new technology, we want to make sure that it comes out defect-free as much as possible, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
All right, so next, let's talk about what sort of model we would use to best manage our change in this instance. Our paper, we've highlighted a few major ones to briefly run through them. We've got the Cotter model with his 8 steps. We've got ADKAR by ProSci. We've got Kaizen, and we've got PDSA. What do you guys think about each of these models in this particular circumstances? What are some of the pros and the cons?
So what I would say is that Cotter is one of the models which does a very good job in encompassing different levels of change management. It can fit large organizations and small organizations, large endeavors and small endeavors. I like the structured approach. It's well defined. There's a lot of companies that are practicing it currently, and there's a high success rate with Cotters.
Yeah, and to your point, we're sort of already into Cotter's model. His second step is to form a guiding coalition. So just by the fact that the company has set out to task us with making this department and this change management area, we sort of have become that guiding coalition. So we're already in it in some ways. Victoria, go ahead.
I also think that we've kind of moved in that direction as well with establishing our vision and our goals. We've established our objectives for this transition, and that's a very strong feature in the Cotter model. But I also think that the ADKAR model has some merit when it comes to the manufacturing and production side of the organization, because it has a more localized and individual approach to training and providing resources to our people so that they can start to implement this change.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And even the Kaizen and PDSA models, they're a little bit different in the sense that they're sort of a continuous change model and you're constantly iterating through them, as opposed to the longer durations of the ADKAR and Kotter's model. So they can sort of be thrown in alongside Kotter and ADKAR accordingly, and almost it's hard to go through Kotter or ADKAR without including some level of Kaizen or PDSA along the way. So those will certainly be keys to our development here.
Absolutely, and I think the benefit of the continuous change models, the Kaizen and PDSA, are that on the shop floor, the manufacturing floor, a lot of the workers are familiar with the process, and they're practicing this on a regular basis. So they'll be more accommodating with the change that comes with this familiar process. And we can definitely utilize that for giving them the changes or doing the change management in small doses, which they're likely to respond better to.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Atif, that this change that we're talking about is so broad in terms of the reaches of the company that it hits, as well as impactful in that every area that it hits, it has a drastic change coming to that area, that it might be best if we sort of delegate not only the structure of our task force by department or by business unit within the company, but also sort of tailor the models that we use. Let some models be more prevalent in certain departments than other departments. Are there areas of the company that you guys think would benefit more from one model or the other, or another?
I do believe that the Cotter's model would be a good overarching structure to use for our overall change management, and then have customized versions of the continuous change models implemented, on a need by need basis. And there's also some really good practices out of the ADKAR model that Victoria spoke about, the training, the coaching, the reinforcement that we might want to use in conjunction with Cotter's.
Well, it kind of sounds like we're trying to create, a kind of hybrid model that is catered to our organization. I don't think that any specific model by itself is going to, encompass an entire organization. I think, organizations are very different. So I think it works that it makes sense that we would pick and choose specific features of the different models to create our own change management strategy.
Yeah, and one of the things we've talked about as a team is that ADKAR seems to get a little bit more into the training side of change management, and they focus on training as a key to sort of keeping everyone up to par and up to speed as the change occurs. So that might be best served in, in different areas, as well as the fact that ADKAR is sort of more on the individual basis. It focuses on individual goals and individual reasons for the change and motivations for the change, things like that. So in some of our smaller departments like R&D or legal and HR that have a bit tighter knit team that could share those individual goals, that might be a better way for them to stay motivated with the size of their departments.
And one more thing I'd like to include is that, the continuous models, the PDSA and the Kaizen kind of philosophies, I think it's really important that we, keep that those ideas implemented in our organizational structure, because it perpetuates change and innovation. It motivates people to keep thinking, to keep being forward thinking. So that even after we make this change, we still find ways to be more innovative and competitive in the marketplace. Yeah,
I absolutely agree. Well, I guess to recap, what we've got here is a big challenge over the next 5 years for a big company. It sounds like what we've decided is that Kotter is sort of the model that we would apply globally as a company. That would be sort of the party line but that we would delegate within our change management process to sort of tailor fit to some of the smaller departments or some of the different areas of the company. A little bit of a hybrid model, like you said, Victoria, that would take into account some of these other models that we've studied. It sounds like a good plan to me. I think that's a good starting point, and it would be really exciting, obviously in real life, if we could get to witness this and watch this change go all the way through. Yeah, great work, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.